Hey, it's John Estes with Cornerstone Home Lending. I am a local lender in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and I'm here to talk to you today about 5 reasons why it's really important to use a local lender. First, we're going to talk about the local reputation. So in this market where it's a seller's market for sure, when you're one of maybe 10 offers on this house, the agent that's selling the house is going to want to know that the lender is going to be able to perform. And that local reputation that I have in this market, they know that we're going to get the loan closed on time and it's going to get taken care of. That's super important for them because then they understand, as opposed to maybe a national lender or an internet company, there's someone that they can actually talk to and make sure it gets taken care of. The next biggest thing about using a local lender is experience. I've been in this business almost 20 years. I've seen the highs, I've seen the real lows and the highs again. It's an ever-changing business, but what you want from your lender is someone that actually knows what to do when there's an issue. And a lot of loans are pretty basic and you're not gonna have those issues, but there's also a lot of loans out there that have problems. You might be self-employed, you might have a job change, et cetera. So you want to make sure someone understands that. A lot of the bigger companies, the national companies, the internet companies, some of their loan officers only been in the business for a year or two. So they've really never seen much other than the current market, aren't equipped or be able to deal with issues when they arise. The third biggest reason you want to use a local lender is the appraisers. So let me talk about this real quick and what I mean by the appraisers. Appraisers go out and they do a valuation on the house because from a lending perspective, we need to make sure that the house is worth what you're paying for it. And especially with all these offers right now that are going above the asking price, you want to make sure an appraiser that understands the market and knows the little nuances there very well because he's local, kind of like your lender, and knows all the nuances there to make sure that the house will appraise. A lot of the larger companies, like I talked about the big banks, the internet companies, a lot of these larger companies use what's called an AMC or an appraisal management company. The appraisal management company is actually a national company as well. They take the appraisal fee that you pay for and then maybe pay half of that appraisal fee to the appraiser. So they're not really going to get your best appraisers, and these might be appraisers that don't know the neighborhoods. We use what's called an appraisal desk. And with the appraisal desk, what's important about that is this is our hand-picked list of local appraisers that understand the neighborhood. They understand that when you cross a certain street, you go from one school system to another, and that can change the value of the home maybe 10% or even more just because you crossed one street. That's a huge difference when you're trying to make sure these appraisals come in at value. And the problem is if the appraisal doesn't come in at value, you're either going to be paying the difference for the sales price or the appraised value, or you're not going to get that house. So if you're comfortable with the sales price, you want to make sure you're using the best appraisers possible. Another huge reason to use a local lender is accessibility. So what I mean by that is you're not calling an 800 number and having to give your loan officer every time you need an update. You have my cell phone number. You can text me on the weekends. You can call me whenever. You can say, hey, what's going on? I'm going to reach out to you at least once a week and let you know where we are in the loan process to make sure you're following along. But I always want to be available for you whenever you need it. If you just want to check in, if you have questions, if something came up and you're not sure how to handle it, I want to be there, and it's not you having to give me a loan number and then wait on an 800 number for a while and click through the buttons and then get a customer service line. Nobody wants to deal with that. Trust me, I don't like it. I don't have the patience for it. So I want to make sure that if you need me, you can get in touch with me right away and we get whatever's taken care of or needs to be taken care of, taken care of. And the last reason that you want to use a local lender, and this is basically a culmination of the first 4, is to actually close on time. Our reputation is only as good as us closing on time. So we do everything we can to make sure that your loan's going to close on time as opposed to you working on our schedule. We're going to work on your schedule with your contract to make sure that's not an issue. And we're using those 4 steps building up to this to make sure we get that taken care of, because if you don't close on time, there could be a backup offer that's actually higher than your offer, and you've now failed to perform on the contract, and you could potentially lose the house and they go with the next offer. So closing on time, especially right now, is extremely imperative. So that's the 5 reasons I wanted to talk about, using a local lender. Please call me or email if you have any questions. I'd love to help out and help you with your next home loan.